An environment that assumes employees are valuable, acknowledging all humans. Yes, acknowledge them. Young, old. Yeah, the clients, all stakeholders. So we're not saying this, a workplace as just if the other stakeholders are not there, it's only the employees. How will that work? So it's all encompassing. The customers, the employees, everyone, the shareholders, everyone, welcoming them, prioritizing their ideas, their thoughts. How can we move ahead? Irrespective of their position, irrespective of their status. Treating everyone with fairness. Thank you. Where employees are looking forward to going every day. Yes, where you can breathe. Right? So that's one thing for me about a human-centric workplace, where you can breathe, where you are not choked. But I prefer the way you can breathe and even breathe, where you can even breathe. You can live. Where you can look forward to going to every day. So let's have this at the base of our mind, that it's not just the employees. Let the employers also breathe. Let the employers also breathe. So you see that we are advocating more of the employers, right? Let the employers also breathe. Right? And treat, yes, where there is autonomy. Where there is an autonomy. Are we raising the business, or we are killing it? Those are the things. Are we probably, because the employers, they also have blood. They also need to grow, like we employees. They also have fulfillment needs. Their well-being should also be prioritized. So bringing all of this together, it's what makes the human-centric workplace the ideal place. Your thoughts, your ideas, your culture, your well-being, your growth, your fulfillment is being prioritized. All right? And we have all mentioned them. And I've said it earlier that we are creating this, we are facilitating this session. All right. So most of the things you have identified are the core pillars of human-centric workplace. The wellness and well-being of the people, of the customers, of the shareholders, of the government, of the environment, of the community that we operate in. Where work flexibility is also possible. Everyone, regardless of who they are. There is diversity, there is equity, there is inclusion, and there is belonging. People, organization, the business can grow, expand beyond reach. As much as an individual, we have purpose. The organization also has a vision. The benefits, even non-governmental organizations, there is even charity organizations, right? They also have to be compensated, well compensated, a fair one. But there is a local that says after money is money, right? After money is money. So how are we making this money? How are we increasing the revenue? How are we increasing the profit? How are we rewarding the good work? And the community in which we serve in, the community in which we serve in, what a connection as professionals as well. We cannot do life alone. We cannot do life alone. The organization can also not live alone. So the policies, the procedures, all our processes, all our practices, how ethical are they? Are they sustainable? Can they stand? Can they stand the test of time? Yes, yes, human-centric approach includes not just the employees, every stakeholder, everyone. Everyone needs to be fine. Everyone should be able to breathe. All right. Each of these shows us that everybody, I said, even the employers, it's not just the wall of the organization. The employers, their own physical, their emotional state, they also have mental health. They also have mental health. They also have physical, they also have emotional health, right? Which is important and very, very, very crucial for the organization to achieve success. Because we do not want to wake up a day and the business is no more in existence. So all of these pillars explains that we need to recognize everyone, every stakeholder, their emotional, their health, their mental states, their mental health are crucial to the organization's success. Yeah, where people can breathe. Thank you. All right. So why should we even, what are the benefits? What are the benefits? What are the benefits? What are the benefits of having human-centric workplace? That's why I explained it that a three of employees believe that their well-being is as important as their salary. These days, we are professional. We say that it is not just the salary that comes first now. What are the other conditions? What are the other conditions? People will leave a company that does not prioritize well-being. It is no more a nice to have anymore. It's not the basis. I say where people can breathe, and both ways. That research also found out that people can leave their jobs for one that will give them control. I had a PA to my GM at the time, and she had to leave. She said, one day off is not sufficient because it is an hospitality space. He said, one day off in a week is not sufficient for me. The pay is okay. I'm talking about it's even more than 5 years ago. So people have become are more aware, and they can leave the job. Yes, it's good. The environment, yeah, the name and all that. But people will leave. Can they control their time? Can they have time to themselves? And also where they can be supported. Where they can be supported. Where the leader gives their team a sense of psychological safety. We'll get to explain more of psychological safety. Where you can be heard. Your opinions count. And everyone attempting to take risk at their own proportion. When people can think and not work like robots. So there is no fear of judgment. There's no one stopping you, except you do not want to try. Except you don't want to try at all. So there is no negative consequences. So your creativity is being developed. What else can you do? What new things? What new initiative? What new thing can we? What else? How else can we do this? So that we have been doing it this way before you joined us, or along the line, even when we have been here, it doesn't mean you should continue. But this innovate, being allowed to think. Not that before you do it, you have to take, people there are boundaries, there are ranks. They're not breaking it. But in your own proportion, you're allowed to give responses, to make decisions as much as it is required. So where the employees and everyone has all this to themselves, people will be more engaged. You know that you have your voice, your opinion is being heard. You can take moderate risk as it is appropriate to your level. So you are motivated to even try. Oh, we want to have we want to have a new name. We have an outlet and we want to give a name to it. And have all the employees are asked, okay, please give us a name. Give us a name. What name should we put? What name should we put our outlet? And you will see beautiful names come out. Beautiful ideas that we could not even think of. And when we are picking the best of the, when after sorting and all that, people are, wow, how did people, think this deep, this wide? And eventually got a name to the outlet. The person was rewarded. So when we are having such requirements, everyone, it will be an healthy competition. That, I'm sure when the person is still with us, if the person eventually leaves, we'll say, it was, because it was well recognized. It was an open thing. Just an open recognition. It was one of my innovation. I creatively suggested that name and it was accepted. You can see the person would be more engaged, would be motivated to even do more, to even think elsewhere. What else can I do? How else can I contribute? And when people are engaged and motivated, they hardly leave, except for maybe they need to go for maybe personal, family, or maybe they need to, beyond. And even when they leave physically, you will still see that attachment. But physically on turnover, it will be very, very low. So these are the few examples. Please feel free. Let's see what else. What else are the benefits? All right. What else are the benefits? What else are the benefits? When people can breathe, yeah, they'll be very, very productive. They'll be very, very productive. When they know, we co-designed this thing. We all contributed to the name. We were given that opportunity to even think of a name, right? So the psychological safety is where you can foster a positive and productive environment in people, in the different units, outlets, in the workplace. It's a great place to work. What does it really mean? Are you safe? Is there a way I can just hear my own view? So an organization is safe when people can just be positive and they can just say everything that they want to say. They can ask questions for clarity. They are not robots. They can think, they can ask, they can talk. They can challenge ideas. can share their opinions. This is my own observation. This is my perspective to this. Everyone, the employer, the employee, the vendor, the customers, everyone has emotions. Are you scared of the customer sending a review? Feedbacks are breakfast for champions. So safe places where people can say their emotions are valid, their thoughts are important, their feedback is the fuel for our success. And when an idea has even been stated before, it can be challenged. It doesn't mean that this is the best way. There are other perspectives. There are other ways to it. And where people can say their opinion, they can share their emotions without fear of mistake. Even when you make mistake, you are encouraged. That because you made a mistake means you try something new. You made an attempt to do something different. You assume that there is no box at all. It's just to explore. That mistakes was a thought of doing something different. If the person had succeeded, it would be a thing of celebration. So when a mistake is being made, right, and it's not just there are some other mistakes, but then when you are making genuine mistakes, that in the attempt of getting the things done better, oh, this mistake came up. So there's no fear. So you are free to explore. You are free to challenge things. There's no humiliation. You have no punishment for trying. It is even worse if you do not try at all. Because it means to just be a one-way traffic. So without discrimination, everyone's voice can be heard. Everyone's voice can be heard, irrespective of who that person is. Right? So here are some strategies that we can use to foster psychological safety. When we have individual teams, when we have organization, we have different units, outlets. Yes, it's in hierarchy. We have, these are the level. We have the mid-level, you have the senior, you have the junior, and all that. But everyone is being encouraged to open up. Say it as it is. Share with us. What do you have to say? Leveling that power gradient. There's no power. There's no, most of the things. And maybe our own part of the world, right? That people are very, very reluctant in calling people by name. It is to level that power gradient so that people are free to express themselves. But when you put on that cap of Mr., Mrs., like that, when you start putting positions, ranks, it's a part of barrier. It may be unintentional, right? But let people be able to speak up. Allow that open space. If it would be during town hall or anything, let people share. Oh, that even join them to clap, join them, let them know that yes, you're free to speak. And again, remember, there should not be that fear of punishment when people open up. That is how we can foster psychological safety. So everything done in Rome remains in Rome. That is what it is during town halls. Of course, there are guided rules on what we all agreed. We respect what are our values. What are the things important for us? It is all well cleared. Right? It is all well spelled out. Let people speak. And when they speak, when we have their opinion, when we are using it to encourage them, we reward them. So when someone make a mistake, right, you learn from it. It's only when you have not learned. So when a child is walking and hits the leg on the floor on the stone, right? He just moves ahead. But an elder, it's you to look at it. What made me hit my foot on the stone? Learn from whatever mistake, from whatever failure. It's to learn from it. So this was an idea that we came up with, and then this was the outcome. What are the things that we could learn from it? So we are having policies, we are having some procedures, we are having what are your ideas? Yes, it's not like it's a marketplace. But when people know that we contributed to this, we have a shared value, we have what guides all of us. We have a stake in this organization. Everyone is protected. Everyone knows, you are the one, this is what is guiding us. These are guiding principles. So there is a code of conduct that guides everyone. And when people are speaking, they say, how many ears do we have? How many mouths do we have? They say there is a reason for having one mouth and 2 ears, so that you can listen as twice as you speak. So if you have to speak once, you need to listen 2 times. And effective listening, I'm with you, and your mind is elsewhere. Effective listening, encouraging people to speak. And intelligent, compassionate communication. Yes. Everyone is different. I was in an organization earlier, and people did not even know that I understand Yoruba, because most of the people in my unit, they are not from my tribe. How do I want them to feel when they will not understand what I'm saying? Being compassionate when you're communicating, embracing differences. You have brought them here. Let it be safe. Let it be safe. And again, we've mentioned we have a shared value. When we have done well, and when we have done well, we'll look at it. We'll practice retrospectives. How well did you do in the last project? What were our wins? What were the things that we did that was successful? What were the ideas that we got that did not give us as much as we expected? So retrospective is more like, we're having some debrief, or we're having catch-up meeting after the project. But future perspectives, it's even more that before the event, you have be the devil's advocate to see what will be the worst case scenario. What would we do? What are the things that we will do? How are we going to navigate it when we have this kind of challenge? If we are to expect 100 clients, and if the worst case, what will be the worst case scenario? If it will be that, it is only 20 people that will come, well, how are we going to manage? So it's not that you do not believe, it's not that you are doubting the processes, but what are the worst case scenarios? You look at it, everyone is safe. Okay, what if this situation happens? How are we going to do it? So that's the future perspectives. And then more importantly, we have a guided rule We all agree that these will be our values, and we should be our processes, our policy. When there is a persistent problematic behavior, it has to be addressed. Yes, having done all you can, every day divorce is allowed. So if you are the problematic one, be ready that you will see my lawyer, right? That you hear from the lawyer. Like, that to be addressed. That is how people would know that we are safe. That's the safety that we're talking about. So it's not like, yes, you have to open everyone. Yes, it's a human-centric thing. It means everybody, we are carrying everybody along. We want everybody to be at the same space. We want to grow with the organization. The organization also wants to grow with us. We also want to do all that we need to do, our emotions, our mental, all these things are valid. But when there is a persistent problematic behavior, it has to be addressed. The same rule. Is it the same mouth that the dog used to play with the baby? Is the same mouth that it used to bite it. So the same shared conduct, the norms, the value, the principle, the policies will take its course. So we are not here. You're not best friend forever, right? When it becomes persistent problematic behavior, because it is others, you hold other people that duty of care to be psychologically safe. You hold every other person that duty of care to be safe in that organization, right? And this is how we can build trust among ourselves, among the leaders. Effective communication, you cannot overemphasize it. You cannot communicate enough. And then when you are communicating, that will be effective. And effective means that it is what you intend to say, to communicate, that is being heard and understood. This is when you have effectively communicated. So building trust, you can see it is you in between it. So you are the one responsible for what that person would interpret. You are the one responsible. You are the one that is responsible in explaining. Let people, you have to be in their mind, you have to be in their brain, you have to be in their understanding. So that is why you have to communicate effectively, to say exactly what you intend to say. That is what they would understand. That is what you have communicated. You have to transparent consistency. We've talked about the guided rule. Let it be consistent to everybody. So it is not a chameleon-like thing. No double standard. Yet, you have to give people you have to, ensure that you are giving them as appropriate to what is expected of them. The way you will talk to the young will be different from the way you will talk to the old. So if it is of that same demographic, it has to be consistent. You're accountable for all your action, of all you comment. You are the one. You are responsible for whatever you say. How you say it, how it is being interpreted, you are the one responsible for it. So all our values, all our commitments, what we say we are going to do, you have to honor them. You have to be honest. When you are wrong, admit. No matter who you are, young, old, senior, junior, the leaders, the top management, everybody, the customers. When you are wrong, you should be honest and vulnerable to admit. And when it is a just cause, yeah, this is what we agree, this is the right thing to do. And there's no magic in creating trust. In creating trust, it is created incrementally. And the more you create it, the more you are improving on it, it will be given to you from every party. You are the one responsible for it. You give me, I give you. Right? Are we still here? Am I the only one speaking? Am I the only one speaking? I want to hear her responses. Let me know that I'm not just speaking to myself. Let me know
You're not,
my
you're not alone.
it's still intact.
You're not alone.
All
I hear
right.
you.
Thank you.
Please fire on. We're enjoying you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm feeling your vibes,
right.
Keep
you know,
moving.
now I know that I'm not alone. So we are talking about effective communication. You know all the 7 C's. You have to be clear. You have to be committed to whatever you say. You have to be consistent. You have to say it completely. Don't just say half words. And be cautious. Know the people you are speaking with. It will come back to you because you are the one responsible. Effective communication, you have to actively listen. I talked about you have 2 ears for a purpose. If you are communicating, you have to listen 2 times. More than the time that you say, or you speak, or you talk, or you share. Active listening. Watch out for the verbal and non-verbal cues. Feedback again. So when you are communicating, how will you get feedback? It means that you have to listen 2 times. And when feedback is being given, take it as luxury, because it is very, very difficult to even share feedback. It takes a whole lot. So when someone takes their time, when a customer, when an employer, when a manager takes their time to give feedback, appreciate it. It's luxury. And the empathy, empathetic leadership. When you listen to understand, you're not just listening to respond. Yes, I know what you are saying already. I know what even before you started, I knew where you were going to. I knew where you are going. You know, you are the Messiah. You already knew the end from the beginning, right? But it should not be. To actively listen, you have to listen, not just to respond. You do not know what the person has to say. You're not in that person's mind. I said feedback is luxury. Create that atmosphere, create that environment that people can open up and say that this can be done better. All right? Remember again, you are the one responsible. You are the one responsible for how people understand what you intend to say. And you have only communicated clearly, effectively, when what you intend to say is what is being understood by the other party, irrespective of who they are. All right? We're looking at the holistic well-being. You can have mentioned so many, everyone. So it's not just the employee, everyone has life. They have their physical well-being to be attended to, the mental, the financial. So the physical well-being, how are they treated? How are they looking? Their appearances, how are they showing up? Their workplace, their seats, their all the things, their work tools, the things that they need. Physical well-being and mental well-being, also important. The same thing goes to the employer. The employer also bleeds. Their mental health is also important to be protected. After money is money. So we're looking at the holistic view of well-being. So how are we doing? How are the books doing? How well are we? How healthy are the books? How healthy are we? So the career well-being, how are we developing? All these things do not even cost. So you may not need to go and break the bank before you promote or grow the people. But again, when it is being shared, how do you take it? The employer also has emotion, their social well-being to also be protected. There is a purpose for everybody. There's a business well-being that needs to be well attended to, that needs to be improved on, that needs to get better. So the employee, everyone, it's an holistic well-being. So what will be the contribution? The employer is also suffering. So many things affecting, right? The economy, everything. So when we say cost of living, it's also there. So how else can we contribute? So it's same thing. How else can we do? What else can we do? Because it's a ripple effect. The more we do, the more we pump in, it will show in the books. It will show. And then when you're talking about the mental well-being, how else can we do it? What else can we do to facilitate, to improve on the mental well-being? It's by being psychologically safe. Giving that safety to everyone. As much as you give, you also get it in return. Right? We talked about the diversity. You cannot do life alone. And one person cannot do it. We have different colors. If it is just yellow, you have just one yellow, and you have the rainbow, which will be more colorful. I want responses. You have one color. If it were to be that it is just one color that we have, or we have the option of choosing. If you have the option of choosing, if you have just color, it is yellow. Yellow is bright, right? Yeah. If it's just white, yellow. And then you have the variety. You have the rainbow. Which will you choose? Yes, one color is boring. One color is boring. Right? That is the essence of, rainbow. Yeah, Esther is choosing rainbow. What color will you have? Which one? Which one will you choose? Which one will you choose? Do you want just one color everywhere? Or you want the variety? Right? So diversity is that you have multiple identities. People with different background, age, race, religion, everyone. Right? You have them represented. And this, we have to do it intentionally. We may not need to bring them. Yes, we may not need, because we are inclusive. We may not really need to bring them up on the face during recruitment or putting up our job hat. It is a back-end filter that will help us with it. And you have to be aware of biases at all levels. So as professionals, we have to be intentional about it. That you are adding, you have multiple identities represented. Right? So that's diversity. So equity is that you have fair treatment. If everyone on this data is entitled to 1, 2, 3, 4 or more to enjoy, or perks, you give it to them. And it is no more a fair, fairness doesn't mean that you are giving, equity doesn't mean that you are giving all of them the same thing. You brought them from different levels. You have to be intentional that it is not what would suit me, of my gender, of my demography, of my type, because you have to be inclusive. Your equity means that you are giving people as much as is required of them. Oh, I will at my age, I need to be fit. I will prefer a spa treatment. I will prefer a gym subscription. Right? So it is fair. It is fair to treat people taking into consideration all that they represent. Their different age, their different personality, their different interests. Ensure that they all participate. So it is not just about you. We said it is the people, every human should have that full participation. You are looking for perks. Please don't design it alone. Don't put it don't just share this is what I intend. No. Throw out a survey to see. And then put into the consideration the different demography of the people that you are attending to. It will help you to put things to satisfy them. Because what is it? Every initiative is not just nice to have. It's not just to tick the box. What will be the result? What do you intend to achieve? What do you intend to achieve? As much as we say money, at some time, at some people, they may prefer some benefit in kind than even cash entitlement. And then encourage that their growth, their advancement. So inclusion, you know that they are all there. Put their thoughts together. Let them know that all of their ranges, all of their age groups matter. Their perspective is of interest to you. And then when you have brought all of them up, maximize their potential. Let them try. Let them be able to share their views, their beliefs. So the dance structure on DEIB is that you have invited people to come to the party. That's where you have diversity. Yes, people have been called it. You have been invited to their party, but it's not everybody that you invite. That you tell to give us this DJ, please sing for this person. You know, when you have a party, we just had one yesterday, right? And in different, all of the different people, tribes, religion, you are not partial. You give them the music that would suit them. If it is hip hop, you give them hip hop. If it is juju, you give them Afrobeat. If it is Afrobeat, you give them. That is equity. So you let them give them the song, you give them the music, you give them the playlist of what is interested, of what is important to them. And inclusion is that you now call them to the dance floor. Let's go. Ain't any bow, you call them to bring it onto the dance floor. And belonging is that you allow them to dance like there's no one watching. We have those emoji, right? Please, right? You know those emoji. You dance like no one is watching. That is belonging. People, their innovation can thrive. They can share their views. They can express it however they want. That is belonging. They will dance like no one is watching, like no one cares. Like how they dance, right? So here are ways you can measure and sustain culture. Right? They say whatever is not important cannot be measured, right? It's good to have some. How are we even doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Before we want to even improve, how are we doing? See, you can use the employee satisfaction survey is there. The employee net promoter score is there. There are different engagement surveys that can be used to see that is our culture sustainable. And the well-being indicator, you can check how many of our team are being sick to really know about their well-being. What is the HMO? What is the employee assisted programs usage that we have? How well are they using them? So far, have we recorded any accidents on safety that can be avoided? It could just be as little as just making a ramp that would make the difference. So the retention, the turnover data is also important. Check how many people are leaving. At what level are they? Right? And the people leaving, there's some resignations, or that you will say, this says it. We have even been praying for it. Just go, right? So that should not even be a thing of concern. But yes, if you're looking at our retention, so is everybody that needs to be here? I said it earlier. Levels is allowed. I mean, don't know you can. And if it's someone, you have some consistent problematic people, you let them go. So it's not just about that, our turnover is low. What is the effect on the culture? Right? How are we doing? That's where you look at how many people can even propose, how many people can say with their full chest that this is the company that I work with. Or can even refer others to even come. When you're having hiring, most times, except for a few roles, it is internal, it's employee referrals. And I have many people that will still say that, I said that I would like to leave. How many people have been rehired? Some people will go and say, can I still come back? If there is space, right? What are the ways to see how well are we doing? So it's not just the internal people. Yes, it's important. Even when they leave, they can be ambassadors to the organization. How well are we going to say? Because just the employee, they are just small. You have the customers out there. You have the environment people out there. You have the government people out there. How do we relate to them? How do we relate with them? These are the things people see. Even we have some parents that will say, I have someone that wants to come and work. I like how your settings, Stay in interviews, not necessarily when they are exiting. Check some focus groups and hear from them. The customers review. What are people saying about us? These are ways you can check. How well are we doing? It starts from us, individual, you, everyone, you at all levels, junior, senior, mid-level, senior level, executive level. Everyone has something to contribute to ensure that this culture is sustained. So it starts from the top. The leadership alignment. There is a goal, there is a vision, the business has a plan. If the leadership, if their own vision is not to have a workplace that is psychologically safe, right? You can see it is dead or whatever, right? But it has to be that there is leadership alignment. That is very, 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 very critical. So there has to be leadership alignment. That is how the culture can be sustained. So if alignment, it's core. Because it is the leaders that we even ensure that all these things, all these initiatives, if it does not start from them, it will be difficult to implement or let alone being sustained. Right? And when people are doing well, encourage them, recognize them openly, and continuously get feedback. So when you measure, this is where we are. This is where we are on all these levels. And then you are able to check, what else can we do? Also add it on the survey. Add it. How do you want us to improve on 1, 2, 3, 4 aspects? Be ready that if you put on financial, people, the money cannot be enough. But then you have to add it there. You get your response, you get better advices, you get better recommendation. When you throw the net into the sea and not restrict it just to few people, let everyone knows that, I mentioned this and it is being done. They will be involved. There is a level of satisfaction that it gives. Right? All right. So in concluding, everyone is important. Everyone has something to say. Everyone has a tool, has a role to play in building human-centric workplace. So it's not just an employee thing, it's not just an employee, it's not just a customer thing. Yeah, customers are key, but it's a collective effort. As much as we invest, to the company we have, there is a week dedicated already for wellness. There's a week dedicated for wellness. So you have different activity, you watch movie, Let people relax. Let people come together. Let people dance. Let people sing. Let people do aerobics together. You know, these are ways. They sit for so long. How often do you bring them come up to even exercise their legs, their waist? Right? When people feel like, when they know that they are valued and empowered, right? They will not just stay. When they leave, they will become ambassadors to the organization. And that is what the corporate culture would now be in the long term. So even when they have left, be open, let people contribute, let people say, let them say it as they can express themselves. And when we say open communication, well, we have, yes, it's open communication here, right? But when people say, do we listen to them? And whatever they say, how well do we put them into use? When they contribute their ideas, do we implement them? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be the one that will take the glory, right? So we've concluded, so let's see how well we have dealt with our objectives so far. We said we want to understand the principle of human-centric workplace, right? We have talked about how we can foster for psychological trust, safety in different teams, building trust in leaders, and implementing well-being initiatives, right? And how we can cultivate inclusive leadership and, more importantly, communication. Not just communication, but effective communication. And how can we sustain it in order to achieve business results? So far, if I am not all alone here, right? So let's share in the chat box, what has been our key takeaway so far? What has been our key takeaway so far? We are 74 on the call, right? What has been our key takeaway? Transparent culture, yes. Sustaining culture starts from the top, yes. Because as long as you're not the CEO, right? You have to align with the business. You have to align. There has to be leadership alignment. That is where your own initiative can be easy to implement. So they will be the one that will put your initiative on the head and run with it. So let's start dropping. What are the key takeaways so far? And also drop, what will be that one change that you will make in order to foster and support human-centric culture in your own team? I've mentioned that it is all of us, we are saying, so let's share. Your Joy's key takeaway is that effective communication is important in a human-centric workplace. Thank you. Avoid blame culture. It is you, it is me. No, there shouldn't be any fear. There shouldn't be any fear of making mistakes. There shouldn't be any fear of being punished. So there's no blame culture. Accept it with your full chest when you have done anything wrong. That is it. That's how you can be safe. Build trust among leaders and employees through effective communication. Develop initiatives for holistic well-being of host stakeholders. Cultivate inclusive leadership practices. Thank you, Ololade. Thank you, Ololade. Let's bring it up. We are over 70 on the call. So I need the chat to be buzzing. Build a transparent culture. Thank you. Thank you, Olushola. Thank you. And also, what to be that one change that you would implement, right? To foster and support this human-centric culture we are talking about. Okay, Ademola said, recognizing all stakeholders, irrespective of their pose or position, where everyone can breathe and be given sense of psychological safety. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those dropping. Thank you. Where are others? Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. All right. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. Embracing a human-centric approach in workplace is essential for boosting employees' engagement, leadership alignment, empathetic leadership across all levels. Thank you, Damilola. Thank you. Ruth says effective communication, build trust among leaders, giving commendation. Yes, He said, right? When you praise them, when you praise them, they'll be able to do more. When you shared, when someone had given their own initiative, they are giving their suggestion, and you take it up and you say, thank you, we appreciate this, and you use it, you implement it, you see the results. You appreciate them. When the people are appreciated, they will do more. Allow everyone feel the importance in their capacity, right? They should be, it's a stick and carrot approach, right? When they do well, you do give them well. When they do wrong, you give them, right? You put them some slack, right? You let them know. And when it becomes problematic, let my people go, right? Effective communication using the 7 C's. Thank you, Ademola. Considering the employer's well-being is also as important as the employee well-being in building a human-centric workplace culture. Yes, thank you, Nadoze. Thank you, because everyone is human. The employers are also bleeding. They also have emotions. They also have their own well-being to be protected. Human-centric culture should not be limited to employees alone. Thank you. Employers also have some pains. Thank you. We should see our workplace as homes, which needs everyone concerned effort. Everyone has something to contribute. Everyone has something to contribute. So in our own little spaces, what are we doing and what are we going to do differently to make it more psychologically safe for others? Building trust in leadership and teams. Thank you, Ademola. Thank you. Patrick, yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. On this note, I'll be handing over to Madam Moderator to carry on with the question and answer. I'm still on the call. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I said thank you so much, everyone, for gracing this session and for your contribution so far. We did it together. Yes, we did it together. Thank you. And you can join me. You can also connect with me. It's Oluwatoyin Adekunti Akapo on all handles. So let's get connected. All right. Thank you. Madam Moderator, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Thank you for the energy. Very, very interesting and insightful session we've had. It's been a very educative over an hour plus session we've had. Thank you so much. And I'm very sure we all have actually been able to learn how to build a human-centric work culture, how to put to practical strategies to help us, develop the psychological trust, safety, as well as well-being of our staff and as ourselves as HR, because the thing is, most times I think HR, we tend to forget ourselves in the whole thing. The issue of effective communication in the workplace can never and will never be overemphasized. Effective communication, a lot of us talked about effective communication, the need for diversity, equity, inclusion, as well as belonging, while not leaving behind strategy, leadership alignment as a very important, as something that is very important for us to also get doing. And we also taught strategies to measure as well as sustain our organizational culture, among others. It's actually been a very interesting one. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So do we have any question? Can we just take 2 questions? We'll just take 2 questions for Toyin. So if you have any question, you can put it in the chat box. I don't think I saw any, or just raise up your hands. Or it was just so good that everybody, our cup was filled up and running over. Okay, I think I have a question from Femi.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for the engaging session, Toyin. Question: how can change happen in an environment where HR and employees feel not listened to by the executive employee? Employees are working in fear, including the new HR. It's one-man business, though. Okay, I give that. Okay, Toyin.
Okay, thank you, Femi. Thank you, Femi. Right. every employee should see themselves as a stakeholder in the business, right? All right, and the question is that how can change happen in an environment where HR and employees feel not listened to by the executive, right? So first thing first, I talked about leadership alignment. What is the business vision? What do we intend to achieve? See, we just need to tell ourselves the truth, okay? Owner-managed business are also here to survive. They are also here to, they also have feelings, okay? When we join them or when we're working with them, okay, they have a vision. They have, every organization, every human, rational human being are here to make profit and will do everything that will make their business succeed. So one thing is for us to align with what the vision is. It has to be cascaded first. So if you see that you are not heard, what are we running? What is it that you are speaking to? If an owner's managed organization, right, is there and it says that this year we are to make ×4 profits after all deduction, right, so that we can expand in the next 2-3 years, right? And why I said we have to align. We look at it, how can we support this vision, this goal? We made 2 million last year, and this year, what our project is that we should make ×4, 8 million of profit. So it's not that we did not make profit. So what else can we do? What are the business ideas can we bring in? The financial well-being of the organization is also important. So that is not the year that we are going to now bring in initiative that will cost us so much. So we can leverage on some things, some people that can give us some trainings. So what are the things? So it's not just that the owner-managed enterprise just wants to cut your training cost. So you are seeing yourself as a business person to see that what is our goal? Okay, for us to achieve 8 million, what are the things that we need to do? For us to achieve 8 million, what will be our expenses? What will be the ratio of our expenses to our revenue? So you will even be the one that will say, no, we don't need this one now. This is what we need. What can we leverage on? What are the things? What are the other options that we can do? So it is important that we align to the business. So if you are speaking in that light, you say that it's not like they don't want to hear. They are human beings. They also have feelings. They also all these emotions. They do have it as well. They do have it as well. So what is it? What is it going to achieve? What will be the result? Can we get it elsewhere? Can it be cheaper without compromising quality? How else can it be done? We want to be sure properly. How change happen in an environment where HR and employees feel not listened to? So what are you saying that you are not being listened to? If you come up with a project and you justify that this will give us this, and you start small, oh, you are not being heard. In what? You give your recommendation. Hello, you are not being paid. That everything that you say you has to be implemented. Oh, you give your recommendation, and these are the justification. This would be the outcome. You are sharing. This is as per your own prediction, right? You have analyzed that this is these are the things, like the results it will give us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you have shared, doesn't mean that it has to be heard 100%. You have shared your own view. You have given your recommendation. You have shared how it would flow. See, it doesn't mean that you shared it today, that they will have to listen to it today. You have shared all your recommendation and in alignment to the vision of what the organization is running with at that period, right? So what are you saying? Are you saying things in alignment or misalignment so that we don't get it twisted? Right? So employees are working in fear, including the new HR, right? So what is scaring you? If you can share, if you can, If you can put some context to it, I will be able to respond. And if you are Femi, okay, Femi, I know Femi. So Femi, if you want us to speak more about it, if you want to share exactly what your fear is, what is your fear? What is your fear? So it could just be that you are just looking, maybe they are just false evidences that looks real to you, right? But let me know if you want to share here or you want to let us take it afterwards. I'm always open, okay? But let me know. It's not that every initiative has to be accepted. You share your views, you give your context, and not just that I think. Data is our friend. All right, you can put some data to it, you can put some numbers to it. So this is what you're going to achieve. This is the percentage of increment, this is percentage reduction. You can share when you can see that it aligns with what the executive intends. You see, and it doesn't mean that they will listen today. It could be for tomorrow. It's not all initiative that is being answered right there. Share your view, share your opinion, and do all that you need to do.
Okay.
Let me know if I responded to you adequately, Femi.
Yeah, I
But
think
I still
Femi
need to get that
filled
fear.
up
I need to
right
know
now.
what your fear is. I need to know
I
what
think
your fear is.
Okay, I think Femi's cup is filled up for the evening, and I think he will meet you after service. So Femi,
Okay.
quickly hold on to the hem of Toyin's garment and do not let her go until she blesses you. All right then. So we'll take one more person. Chidima, can we have you make it very short and concise so that we can just get and
Yeah,
close? Yes,
I
thank you.
thank you so much, Toyin, for the insightful session. It was really, really an eye-opener for me. So I just want to ask a question because you know that sometimes, of course, in an owner-managed business, aside from owner-managed business enterprise, some employees forget the fact that HR are also employees. You know, they see the line of they are part of management staff, even though they are management staff, they always forget that they are all employees as much as they are. You know, and I want to just be practical. So, what will you do? Or first of all, the first question is, how would you handle a toxic employee or toxic employees? Or employees that tend to have built I won't call it, okay, let me say a gang, or like let's just say it's a gang, obviously a gang that they're always antagonizing against the HR. They're not being so for example, if you try to pass survey, I tried to pass survey I think last year. Some people feel, some people did not feel. Some of the concerns they raised on the survey has been addressed, why some are still on the pipeline. But you see some sort of attitude that these employees are displaying and is against the work culture, you know, and you see toxic employees talking against the business, whereas they are not doing their own bit in terms of performance, you know. So how do you do this? Because I can tell you that it's taking a toll on me. In fact, I was just thinking about it the whole of it, and that was why I was so keen to join this session to pick up one or two things. And of course, I've learned one or two things, but I just want this to be addressed. That could help me to know how to, you know, apply some practical steps on it. Thank you.
Okay, Chidima, stay on the call. What do you intend to do? Tell me.
Okay, so from the session, I before I plan to do survey, but I also see that the survey might be a bit, they might be unresponsive to the anonymous survey, you know. So what I during the session while you were speaking, so what I intended to do is maybe later sometime next month, May, I intend to have a meeting with all of them. Now, this is aside from the top management staff, just to have a meeting with them to get to hear one-on-one what are the challenges, what's actually the problem. Let's even know, because if we lose some things we do as culture, it means that people are really disengaged, you know. So that's just what is off of my head as you were speaking. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It makes sense. And that's why I know that you have that answer in you. You know, when we do surveys, right? When people know that it's not just throwing out survey, let them know that what will the survey do for them, right? It is about what is in it for them. It will make them to feel. And when we have those surveys, we have the results, we have the responses. How much of those responses do we take? Yes, some may be irrelevant. how much of those relevant responses do we use, right? So when you have low response to your survey, it's a sign of how safe or how psychological safe your organization is. Any survey that is less than 70%, right? It shouldn't be. Right? So you've given yourself the answer. Check to know that you have their interest. So when they know that this is about me, this survey is for me, they want to hear, because whatever I say, they're going to do it. And then the communication, you cannot overemphasize it. Even if all of them are not being done as you have said, how are we communicating it? Are we, so I said you want to explain that you have constantly mentioned, constantly, let them know how well, where are we in all of these stages. Everything is a project. Oh, on this one, it's still undergoing reviews. It is still, right? We are also an employee. You are not the Messiah, right? You are not God, right? You are not El Shaddai. So you are not to prefer all the responses. Don't put everything on your own shoulder. So if it needs you to give that report to share, oh, this is within. First thing first, the ones be within your own grade, right? How well have you done them? So if it is in stages and you communicate it to let them know these are the expectations and these are the efforts made so far in achieving what is being requested for, people's mind will be at rest that, oh yes, this is what we know. They will even respond. If someone is asking, the person that was not there, they will be the one that will carry your matter on their head to say, no, this is it. Now this is where we are. So there is no gray area. And again, having done all you can, if you have, it's in stages. Psychological safety is that you're all protecting others. So if you have the bad egg and you can identify and you see there is a core value, there is a shared value, we have rules, we have guidelines. And again, you talked about performance. It's critical. The business needs to breathe as well. So I talked about your retention level. Your turnover doesn't mean that it has to be, it doesn't have to be all-time low. If they are not, there are some exit that you have to call Wasiu Waide to come and celebrate with you, right? If they need to go, remove. So it's not just about the numbers. It's not that we are all here for 10 years and all of us are still here. If you have consistent problematic behaviors, attend to it. You are doing your own self and others favor. That is where people can be psychologically safe. I don't know if I've attended to you, but if not, you can also still reach out to me after the session. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, it's just been very interesting. So much to learn, so much to unlearn, and so much beyond the learning is the doing. So we all need to be able to go back, review, and then reanalyze. It's not just about getting the data. What are we doing with the data? Because we get the data and we do not use them, people giving you the data will not fill any more surveys. So we must let our people know what we are doing. And it's just been an interesting session. Thank you so much, Tony. Please, the link for the certificate is on the chat, is in the chat box. Kindly click on it. And you have 48 hours to do this. If not, if you pay any payment, we use it to chop pizza.
No, it will be for donation.
Donation, okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It's been an interesting evening to learn once again about one of the very important things for us as HR practitioners. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you to the leadership of AEHRP. So I think it's okay